Stop everything right now, like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment what you think Shen Yue will do, and share this story with every fan you know, because what you are about to hear is the moment nobody predicted, the proposal that rewrote everything, and the reaction that sent quiet shockwaves through an entire industry. For years Miles Wei and Shen Yue had moved in a careful orbit around each other. Not distant, not inseparable, something in between. Shared projects, award shows, side-by-side photo calls, soft jokes in interviews, long pauses when asked personal questions. Fans felt the tension long before either of them acknowledged it. But no one imagined that Miles would be the one to shatter that balance. And certainly not the way he did. It happened on a night that was meant to be ordinary. A private gathering after a long shoot. A small rooftop space overlooking city lights. Warm lamps flickering in the evening breeze. Music low enough to feel like background rather than performance. Only a handful of people present. Friends, colleagues, assistants who slipped away early to give them space. Shen Yue thought it was just another quiet celebration. Another chance to decompress after demanding weeks. She did not see the shift in Miles' posture when he stood. She did not notice the way he kept glancing toward the edge of the terrace. She was laughing, talking about schedules, about sleep she had not gotten, about a role she wanted to try next. Then he cleared his throat, softly, not to interrupt, just enough to pull her attention. He turned, still smiling, and the smile faded, because he was holding something small in his palm. Not flashy, not theatrical, simple, deliberate, heavy with meaning. The city lights blurred behind him. The air felt suddenly thinner. Miles spoke her name first, slowly, carefully, as if every syllable carried weight. He talked about timing, about how long he had debated this moment, about watching her navigate pressure and expectation with quiet strength, about realizing that admiration had grown into something steadier, something impossible to ignore. Shen Yue did not interrupt. Her hands lowered to her sides. Her expression changed from curiosity to stillness. Not shock. Something deeper. Recognition. When he opened the small case, the world seemed to pause. Friends later said nobody moved. Nobody reached for phones. Nobody whispered. It felt like everyone instinctively knew this was not a moment meant to be captured, only witnessed. Miles did not kneel. He stayed standing, meeting her eyes, which somehow made it more intense. He said he did not want a spectacle. He wanted honesty. He asked her if she could imagine a future where their lives were not parallel paths but one road, where schedules were coordinated, where decisions were shared, where uncertainty was faced together. And then he asked the question, quietly, directly, without flourish. Shen Yue did not answer. Not immediately. And that was what stunned everyone. 'Cause she was not frozen. She was thinking. Her gaze dropped for half a second, then lifted, scanning the faces around them. The skyline, the lights below, the night air. It was as if she was weighing multiple futures all at once. Miles waited. No pressure. No movement. Just steady breathing. Observers described her reaction later as layered. There was warmth, clearly, affection that did not need words, but also caution, surprise, the gravity of what he had just placed in front of her. She asked him one question, not about logistics, not about timelines, not about ceremonies. She asked why now. Miles answered without hesitation. Because I am tired of pretending this is anything less than what it is. That line landed harder than the proposal itself. Shen Yue looked at him for a long moment. Long enough for the breeze to ripple the lamps. Long enough for distant traffic to hum below. Then she did something unexpected. She laughed. Softly. Not dismissive. Overwhelmed. The kind of laugh people make when emotion stacks too high and has nowhere else to go. She covered her mouth for a second, shook her head, and said you always choose the hardest possible moment. Miles smiled. Relief flickered across his face, but he did not push. She stepped closer. Not close enough to end the suspense. Close enough to change the energy. She admitted she had not seen it coming. That she cared deeply. That the idea of a shared future had crossed her mind more than once. But that the reality was frightening. Not because of him. Because of everything around them. The industry. Public life. Families. Expectations. The speed at which private choices become global debates. She said she needed time. Not months. Not avoidance. Time measured in conversations. In long walks. In honest planning. Miles nodded. Immediately. No visible disappointment. Only acceptance. He said that was all he was asking for. Space to talk. Space to imagine. Space to decide without noise. The people nearby finally exhaled. Someone poured drinks that had gone untouched. A friend pretended to check a message. The tension loosened just enough for sound to return to the space. Later that night they stayed on the rooftop long after everyone else drifted away. Sitting side by side. Talking quietly. Not about ceremonies. About childhood memories. About fears they rarely voiced. About what partnership would actually mean. About what they would protect. What they would never compromise. Those who passed by said the conversation was not dramatic. It was intimate. Serious. Gentle. And that made it more powerful than any immediate answer could have been. In the days that followed, the atmosphere around them changed. Not public announcements. No statements. But subtle things. They arrived together more often. Left sets at the same time. Stood closer during group photos. Answered questions with shared glances. Fans noticed. They always do. Speculation ignited again. But this time the energy was different. Less chaotic. More curious. As if people sensed something genuine unfolding slowly. Insiders whispered that Shen Yue was asking sharper questions in meetings. About future schedules. About location commitments. About how couples navigated careers without losing autonomy. Miles reportedly turned down a project that would have kept him overseas for months. Nothing official. But patterns speak. And patterns were shifting. When asked weeks later about the rooftop night, Miles only said some conversations change the direction of your life. Shen Yue smiled when the topic came up. And said timing is a powerful thing. If this proposal story caught you off guard, if it made you rethink everything you assumed about their dynamic, then like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment what you believe Shen Yue will ultimately decide, and share this with every fan who is waiting for the next chapter. Because sometimes the biggest moments are not sealed with instant answers. They are opened with brave questions. And that is where the real story begins.